Well, hello, everybody. I'm SEU President Kent Ingle, and as always, I'm joined by our, distinguished VP for Student Development, Dr. Bethany Thomas.
Yes, sir.
You're watching SEU Now, our weekly update show where we keep you informed and educated on everything happening right now at SEU. It seems like I haven't been here for a long time.
I know,
so,
we've missed you.
I got to get back in the groove here. Today, we're going to be talking about our university's worship movement, SEU Worship, which continues to reach, new heights with its music. In fact, they have a global reach of over 250,000 monthly listeners. That's amazing.
Crazy.
And that's on Spotify.
Yeah.
Their most listened to song has received over 4 million streams. That is pretty amazing. They just put out a brand new single this month titled Walk With You.
Yeah.
And I haven't been able to stop listening to it. It's a great, great song. So I hope everybody else has been listening. Here with us on the show today, we have SEU Worship Coordinator Kenzie Walker and SEU Worship, School of Worship Coordinator Sydney Oslack. So thank you so much, both of you, for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Having this
honor.
conversation. Just great to have you on. But before we get into our conversation, we always like to fill everybody in on the top 3 things that are going on. But, I've noticed there's missing one here, and I may... you be ready for that. Okay, you got me on that?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
I think that would be a fourth important one. But first of all, tomorrow, November 4th, College of Arts and Media and the Department of Music will hold a jazz ensemble concert in Bush Chapel. That's going to be at 7:30 p.m. General admission is $5, and student admission, it's only $3. So it's set to be a great night.
Yeah.
So, bring a date and go listen to some
what a great
wonderful,
place for a date.
Jazz
concert.
Secondly, this Saturday, November 6th, our men's fire and women's cross country teams will be set to compete in the Sun Conference Championships. That's going to be at Lake Holloway Park. The men's team will kick off early, 7:30 a.m. Oh, wow,
running
that's
already
early.
Really stinks, but running at 7:30.
I know, especially on Saturday.
Right.
And the women's team will begin at 8:15.
That's better.
So be sure to head out to the fields this Saturday to cheer them on.
Yeah.
So we want go fire on that.
Yeah, but also this Saturday.
Yeah, go ahead. Give me that.
Sorry, I was just so excited.
I was about ready to give one more, but I think it fits.
So sorry.
No,
this
go
Saturday
ahead.
we also have a fire football game at a different time. It's at 4:30.
Okay.
I know. So it's
But we still have everything, tailgating.
The fire walk, all the things that you can imagine. So
popcorn.
Oh, there's the kettle corn.
Yes.
I live for that on the Saturdays. And then the hot dogs. I love their hot dogs. I know that's weird. We'll still have food trucks. We'll have the ices out there. So 4:30 p.m. It's just going to be a little earlier.
And our fire football team is on a roll, man. They are knocking off top-rated teams right and left. So it's pretty exciting. You don't want to miss this game coming up. And, because it's early, you're going to have later in the night to do other things. So come out to the game and then head out. So anyway, and then finally, our fourth. So it's not the top 3, 4.
That's okay.
I'd love to give you all a word of encouragement for your week. As you probably know, again, our word of the year is it's a time to sow. We've talked a lot already about planting and growing, good fruits in your own life. But I want to remind you that it's just important to be investing in others. Plant seeds in other people's lives as well in ways of encouragement and challenge and mentoring. So my challenge for you is to search a few ways this week to help someone out, maybe to grow in their faith. The beauty of Christianity is the brothers and sisters that God has placed in our lives. They're there because he wants to use them to encourage us and lift us up when we need it most. And, we're moving into the time of year of the semester. People can use a little bit of encouragement and a lot going on. So anxiety can be high and, just all of those issues. So let's take time to be mindful of that. Reach out and encourage everyone that you can. And I think, we can be better people for that.
Awesome.
Well, I'm going to start out, Kenzie. How about you get us started by telling us more about your latest single, Walk With You, and what's the heart behind the song?
Yeah.
What do you hope listeners take away from it?
Yeah. So Walk With You is definitely one of those songs that just gets you right in the heart.
It is.
It's
So true.
Especially when Bethany sings it.
I'm going to walk with
Wow,
you, talk
there you
with
go.
you, spend all my days with you. Listen to us.
That's
I'm going to try out.
Especially when you sing it.
No, I sing too, but I gotta practice on it. Yeah.
Okay, next time we'll have you sing with us.
But what is the heart behind it?
Yeah, so this song is one of those songs that's not, I wouldn't say it's about God, but it's singing right to God.
Yeah.
So it's taking those lyrics and making them very personal, like a personal prayer.
Yeah.
That is just you and God in the room.
Yeah.
And that is the chorus. I want to walk with you, talk with you, spend all my days with you. So it really puts you in the perspective that God's not a faraway God for someone else. He's for you. He's your Father.
So
and
good.
you have access to talk directly to him.
Yeah.
So it's one of those special, tender, intimate songs. The verses are a journey. It's more kind of like a hymn where it tells like a story.
Yeah.
So the verses just, you kind of just want to like soak in the story of like God as your Father. And then the chorus takes you to that moment wherever you are, just speaking to God. I just want to be with you for the rest of my life. That's my heart cry.
That's amazing.
So if you haven't listened to it, we would love for you to listen to it. It's going to take you just to that personal, intimate space in his presence.
Yeah. Actually, when it was released, I write out, when you guys release a new song, I listen to it and write out the lyrics in a journal because I really love to soak them in. I think that's why I'm excited. I know we're going to talk about the new album, which actually let's transition to that. Yeah. You'll be releasing a new album soon. Give us the inside scoop, what that looks like. When can we be expecting it? And then when can I journal all the songs?
Yes.
First of all, I journal song lyrics as well.
No way.
It's such a good way to connect with what you're singing, what you're praying, what you're worshiping with.
Yeah.
So I do the same thing. I love that. We have a lot coming up with this album. So not just its release, which is February 4th.
Oh, that's going to be incredible.
Mark your calendars.
Yes.
The entire album's coming out February 4th.
That's awesome.
But we actually have another single coming out next week.
No way.
We have We Say Yes coming out next week,
That's
featuring
great.
our favorite Dylan Dames.
Oh,
I'm so
yeah.
excited. So we have a single coming out next week, and then we have 2 more singles in January.
Wow.
So there's a lot leading up to it. Every single we're super pumped on, but I'm excited about the whole packaging because again, like she said, all of these are a journey.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a big project for us as we got the students really involved in it.
Sure.
So there's a lot of student voices on it.
Yeah.
We've got a student choir on
That's
it.
cool.
Yeah.
It's gonna be special.
Yeah. And don't we do the album recording November 18th?
Yes.
Yes.
Thursday,
You know?
November 18th.
So we
You have
release some
it.
songs, and then we have a live
We're
album
recording
recording.
some more.
We'll release some more in January, and then February
Exactly.
4th, the full album.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Now, I want to know a little bit more about how, and I know you wanted to talk about this, but how the School of Worship intersects with SEU Worship.
Yeah.
Yes.
How are the students? How does that
Great
all
question.
Yeah, I think we're continuing to make those bridges. And one of the ways we've been doing it is a lot of the leadership from SEU Worship is directly involved with School of Worship. So whether or not you're on SEU Worship or on a chapel team, you can expect to get a lot of leadership and teaching from our staff.
Great.
We have a lot of classes that are offered, like songwriting, a lot of that pastoral ministry stuff that we get to do. So I kind of love that about School of Worship and SEU Worship. You don't have to be on one or the other to get some sort of worship leading or experience in worship ministry. You can kind of get both with either or that you do. But we also have some SEU Worship students that are currently getting their degree in
That's
worship
cool.
ministry.
Yeah.
So
School of Worship is an actual degree. Like you can get a degree in worship.
in worship ministries.
incredible.
And me and Kenzie love to talk about it because when we first came to Southeastern, I don't know that there was something that offered worship ministry where you had that dose of music knowledge and pastoral ministry.
That's cool.
So this degree program is our heart because we're able to give students maybe that contemporary worship side and prepare them and equip them to go and be involved in worship ministry.
And I think we offer that SEU Worship degree not just on our main campus, but I think there are other extension campuses
sites,
that provide them as
we
well.
do.
How many students are a part of SEU Worship this year?
Yes, so we actually have 94 students on our team.
In SEU Worship.
Yes, and our heart is obviously to make as much room as possible.
Yeah.
So that's why we have such a large team. And that team really just supplies a team for our SU chapels on campus.
Yeah.
And so there's about 3 teams that we separate them off into, but 94 students on our team.
And I think you have a student on your SEU Worship team that I dedicated when she was a baby. So that makes me feel really
You know what?
Is that
Lindsay Griffin.
Yeah.
No way.
my gosh.
I did
That's
not
so
know that.
funny.
That's so special.
Oh, she just joined our team. We love her.
Yes.
Her when I pastored
So fun.
in Chicago, her mom and dad served on our staff,
Okay.
Wow.
and
How special.
and I married her mother and father.
Wow.
And then
You're just dating yourself right
I know. Those are years ago. That's when I used to wear suits and things like that.
Man.
You know?
I love
So
that.
funny.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
No, it's pretty neat. Kenzie, I wanted to ask you when you first began your journey with SEU Worship, you wrote you were a student, of course, here at SEU. With that perspective in mind, talk to us about what it's like for a student to be a part of that.
Yes. I honestly think there's not a cooler experience I've ever had in my life than being a student, a part of this program. Obviously, it speaks to how amazing a program is that I'm still here. So years later, I'm still here and I'm wanting to be a part of what invested in my life so much. But it's just a certain kind of hands-on experience that you really can't find anywhere else. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of the local church ministry. I serve it, and I encourage our team to, but it's just so special that while you're serving at school, right across the hallway at Bush Chapel, we're going to be having hands-on real ministry experience. Cool. You get to have conversations with the pastoral staff that kind of train you based off their experience of being in the local church, what it looks like to be a worship pastor nowadays. And so I just love, and then obviously being surrounded by like-minded people just like you is so rare.
Yeah, going through the same season.
Yeah, going through the same season. Obviously, it's a lot to balance because you are a student first. But learning that balance now, I think, is so crucial for the students.
I agree.
And so I've just been so thankful to be a part of it. And I've made some of the best friends in my life. Like, we're still to this day, we've all moved to different states and different churches, but we still connect on that worship experience that we've had together.
That's cool.
And so I know for the students now, like, I'm like, look around the room, like, these are going to be your best friends. These are
your
people.
bridesmaids.
Your bridesmaids.
Groomsmen.
Lifetime friendships.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, Sydney, walk us through the songwriting process and what that looks like, and to what degree do our students get involved in? I know we do songwriting retreats. I know I've even told Dan sometimes, I'm like, I have some lyrics that I could throw out there if you need them.
Please.
But talk us about that process and what it looks like.
Yeah, so songwriting is the heartbeat of what we do as a team. And so we actually just got finished with a songwriting day this weekend.
Wow.
And we involved our scholarship team as well as some teams that are maybe just involved on the chapel side. They're serving, they're volunteering on SEU Worship. We even opened it up to people who are not yet on the team, but they're interested. And they simply came up to us and said, hey, I feel called to be a songwriter. Is there a way I can get involved? So I feel like our songwriting process is very invitational. You know, we don't necessarily have prerequisites for you to get involved in it. We're passionate about training people in songwriting. And so, for example, Saturday, I was in a session with some of our students. And from the moment we started, I made sure everyone got to share their heart. So usually it starts with, share your heart. What's God speaking to you about? What do you think he wants us to write about today? What's something he's talking to you about in your prayer time, in your devotional time? And the reason we start with that is so that we keep these songs for our students, by our students. I think that's the crucial piece of the songs we put on albums too, is just making sure these students connect with them. And so then from there, sometimes we start with melodies. Once we've got a theme, we go straight to scripture usually, because we say this a lot, scripture is free authority. So we know if we put scripture in our lyrics, it's going to hit hard.
Absolutely.
So sometimes we go to scripture right away. We also have a producer that's usually building the track as we songwrite. So we're working all together in a room. It's very cohesive. Everyone's involved. We try not to let anyone sit in a corner and feel like they can't be a part of it. It's we build off each other's ideas.
Cool.
So
lyrics first, music second, or
I think it varies. I think people have different
rhythms.
Like, I feel like we start with melodies. We like music, melodies,
Yeah.
kind of what you're hearing based on the track, and then maybe you start carving out lyrics since you have that theme. So
Wow, I want to come.
Please.
It'd be so fun.
Write the next
Just
hit.
a couple more questions before we close out our conversation. And I know, Bethany, you wanted to ask this, but what's coming up? We do have, you mentioned the recording night coming up on the 18th.
Yes.
And then are there any other like upcoming tours or performances?
What's in the future?
One of our favorite things that we do, period, is actually SU Conference.
Yes.
That's a huge
February.
month for our team in February.
Yep.
So we'll have all of our students and teams involved with that. So it's just one of our favorite things to do is SU Conference, just a few days where we just have session after session together. So, and that's also cool because it's free to anyone who wants to come.
Exactly.
So we invite our extension sites to come. So look out for that. that. It's going to be announced soon on our social media. But we're also getting inquiries for our summer tour already. So, obviously it's been a different season with COVID and how we build our summers out, but I think we're kind of starting to get back into the rhythm of it. So there's a lot of things on the books already, and that's literally where our team gets like thrown into the fire of like real ministry.
Yeah, they learn. They get to learn how to do it.
We do a lot of summer camps and some conferences for the Assembly of God. And some maybe opening opportunities for different bands. It would be really cool. So that's awesome.
No, that's great. Want to wrap this conversation up with one final question. If students are listening out there who are interested in getting involved in SEU Worship, what kind of opportunities would be available to them, and how they go about it?
So we actually have auditions every single semester at the start.
Okay.
So, and obviously that's open to anyone. So as soon as people are on campus, we want to get them to meet us right away so they know who's their point person. So obviously follow us on social media, and then we're going to email that information at the beginning of every semester, and our auditions are super simple. We literally just give you some songs to choose from, and then we just say, hey, leave the room, and we're going to worship with you.
I'm nervous
so
just thinking about
I know. We try to make it like not a nerve-wracking thing, but I feel like it is regardless. Just because you know people are listening to you. But auditions every single season if you want to get involved.
Well, God's using SEU Worship in a powerful way to just touch people's lives, and we're just grateful for how He's using SEU Worship. Amen. And I know a lot of listeners out there are thankful for it, including, I understand there's probably some top musicians out there, some Grammy Award-winning musicians that I think listen to SEU Worship, which is pretty cool to know that. But Kenzie and Sydney, I want to thank you both for joining us today and taking the time to share more about the worship degree and about SEU Worship. It's been awesome to hear about all the amazing things that's happening and taking place. And I can't wait to hear the new album. And if you want to see more about what SEU Worship is up to, make sure you follow them at SEU Worship on all platforms, I believe, right? So as usual, also keep up with the latest SEU news and updates online, and follow us on the social media at SEU University and at Kent_Ingle. Hope everybody has an amazing week. We look forward to connecting with you again next week on SEU Now.